What's up, everybody, man? Y'all know what time it is. It's Tuesday. Hey, welcome back to the Man Cave with myself, Cedric, and my main man, Ron. Hey, y'all, we appreciate y'all joining us every Tuesday like y'all do. We greatly appreciate it. If you're jumping on live, catching a replay, however you're getting it, carry your pigeon, I don't know. Hey, we appreciate it either way it go. Real quick, man. Oh, and we got somebody super special. Um, Y'all can see him. We was gonna do a big reveal, but hey, things don't necessarily work out the way you have them planned. Sometimes, hey, it's 2020. Who knows how it all go? But man, let's just do a quick check-in. Ron, what's up out there on the West Coast, man?
Man, it's been a little bit of time since we've seen or been here live. So just really appreciating the space that we've created for just this openness. Nothing right, nothing wrong. Just really trusting whatever comes up during this next 25 minutes is perfect. I think as men, we oftentimes want to make everything perfect and put that period at the end of the sentence and cross the T's and dot the I's. We're not here to do that. We're here just to show up and be our authentic selves and just kind of go with the flow. So I'm excited to be here. I'm just really excited to have our guest here and excited to just share who we are and what we're all about.
Nice. So, y'all, really how it all happened, man. I got to meet this amazing gentleman briefly, heard a heck of a lot about him before I met him. So, Ron, who we got, man? Who we got? Tell us what's happening.
Yeah, there's times in your life where, you think you've met some pretty cool people and people that impact your life. And I'm in a networking group locally. So it's a bunch of professionals that meet once a week and we share, kind of what we do and how we can really, how we can let others know what each other does so we can really create value in our communities. So Dennis Ramirez, a young gentleman that joined our group, what's been about 6 months ago, Dennis, something like that?
Yeah, I think it's been about 6 months already.
6 months ago. He joined our group and it was just perfect timing because we kind of had to move from being, meeting in person and meeting virtually. And Dennis really stepped in and provided us just our group, just some really structure in how he thinks, creates, and connects. And that's the name of his business. So I just love how the name of Dennis's company represents him as a man and just what he puts out there. I mean, just in conversation with Dennis and then I'll introduce him more formally. He was just sharing with me about people that he touches in his life, younger people that look to him, and he's leading by example, with his friends, just showing them the way, not always telling them what to do, because I think sometimes we feel like we need to tell people what to do, but more so, Dennis is somebody that takes action in his life, and people see what he's doing. So he's done that in his life. His amazing wife, Lupita, is along his side running the business and thinking, creating, and connecting together. And just the power of them and what they're doing in amongst the craziness going on out in the world, people out of work, businesses shutting down, and Dennis's strategy to really help raise up those individuals to really tell them what's possible, bring those things to their attention that they can step into something different and create success. Even at the lower level, they can grow into something amazing. I'm excited to be a part of that, just to know Dennis as a friend, and just to introduce him as just somebody that's here to help what's possible for you in your businesses. No matter where you're at in the world, Dennis can really reach out and give you some guidance on how to grow your company in a way that's going to be sustainable, not something that's going to be a quick fix and put you on your way and then you're done. It's something that's going to create just this momentum to build upon. So, Dennis, love that you're here with us.
Thank you.
Tell people, maybe in a short sentence, what are you doing in the world that's unique about you that's creating this success within your company?
First of all, thank you, Ron and Cedric, for that lovely introduction. I'm honored to be a special guest on your show. Just briefly, let me just kind of put some bullet points on what my company does. The company is Think, Create, and Connect, and what we do is we provide innovative and creative business solutions for those who need like a momentum in their marketing. momentum being something to keep it fresh, something that is going to stand out in today's distracted world. You know, a lot of the times what happens is that at businesses, they don't think outside of the box, so they're stuck in their own world and their own mindset. And in today's distracted world, specifically in social media channels, people are looking to be entertained. So what we've done is we've developed a strategy of delivering content for your business that tells a story, that has a feeling, and it sparks an emotion. So subconsciously, you're selling without selling, because you're letting somebody know that your company does this and this is why they do it. And it's embedding in their head without you even saying, hey, I'm the best this, you know, XY service or whatever. We're basically sharing that story, that passion, to spark emotion. And therefore people stop on your post and they're like, hey, you know what, I can relate to that. That's something that I can actually connect with. And it's been helping. It's especially right now with the pandemic, where everybody's kind of looking for identity and letting their customers know that they're still there and they could be trusted and everything. We're just, my wife and I, Lupita, we're grateful that we can help small businesses, because it's the time to kind of think outside of the box. And hey, why not? I mean, look at everything we've been going through this year. You might as well step outside of your comfort zone and see what happens.
I love it.
I know Seth's going to drop in here, but I just want to share just a small, quick story about a life that Dennis and Lupita touched. A gentleman I know, his name's Jose, and he really kind of was not really knowing what he wanted to do with his business. So he's a fitness guru. So he loves to help others really learn and grow and understand the dynamics of a body, living a wellness, you know, kind of underlying life. So Dennis, you know, really took Jose under his wing and really allowed him to learn, you know, on the fly on how to create an online presence through his fitness program. So, and that's just the Cliff Notes version of how successful Jose is now. I mean, he's now training people in different states around the country. And this is something from a young man that just is full of passion, full of love, full of excitement to share and grow others. And this is as a result of Dennis understanding what he needed to do, what he needed to be open to creating that presence and that long-term sustainability that Jose is now benefiting from. So I love that story, Dennis.
Yeah, I mean, perfect example. You know, Jose was a young kid that Lupita and I met at the gym, and you know what drew us to him was just his passion to help someone, just like Ron explained. And you know, he was just missing a few pieces in order to connect to the audience that he was seeking. So when COVID hit, the gym where we were, you know, going to see Jose 3 to 4 times a week, their doors closed. Well, you know, we were able to kind of help and guide Jose to explore the virtual world. And with his expertise and our, you know, our backup of the market and everything, he was able to elevate his business from you know, it being in a business setting to a virtual business setting. And now he's servicing people across the United States, and it's so exciting. I mean, he's not even thinking about ever going back to a gym because he doesn't have to. I mean, especially right now, just the fact that he can reach more audiences and help more people across the United States, that's truly a blessing in disguise for him. Because without the pandemic, I mean, unfortunately, there has been those people who were not able to adapt and adjust to it. But you know, if that's kind of where we step in, is we come in with the creativity and the ideas to help you think outside of that box and think of ways to stay relevant in the situation we're in right now.
Nice, man. I love it. So man, I gotta ask, you know, and I've heard the online presence talked about in a sense of virtual real estate, from a virtual guru, Stan Pearson. So with that in mind, the virtual real estate, from where you are, what are some of the most common mistakes people make when trying to create that online presence?
I would say some of the most common mistakes is they're trying to say too much at one time. I come across Facebook posts or Instagram posts or YouTube videos that are wonderful. I mean, they have so much to share, but unfortunately, they're not in the size of today's attention span. Because that's one of the mistakes that people make, is that we have to remember, when we go on to Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or something, we're looking for a distraction. We're looking for a sense of entertainment. So if you're automatically putting a very long paragraph, unfortunately, the list of viewers is going to shorten, because they are already thinking, oh, I'm going to spend more time reading that, rather than like seeing some kind of image or video that captivates them to read the content that you're actually pushing. So I would say that that's one of the common mistakes, is not keeping into consideration the attention spans of today's. And Cedric, like the attention spans of today is literally 7 to 8 seconds, and I think that's less than a goldfish in a goldfish in a bowl, and it's just because if you think about it, we're getting text messages, emails, alerts, all kinds of stuff thrown at us all the time. So you have to have that impactful image or that impactful video in order to relate your wonderful message.
So Dennis, I was thinking about the name of the company, Think, Create, Connect. So was that a process that you just found yourself following, or were there times where you were feeling like that step is missed? People were creating without thinking or connecting, or I'm just curious, the name evolution, because it's very powerful. And I think when people look at just our thoughts, our thoughts drive our decisions and how those move us forward in our behaviors. What was your thinking, or was there much thinking as far as that kind of being a methodical way to get people to, not just in marketing, but just in your life, right? I mean, that's kind of a life, that's kind of a life learning 3 words that are important, because we can connect and not really have that understanding of that creativity part of it that can allow that connection to be much deeper. So I'm just curious for you, because I love just diving deeper into the name of your business, just how that evolved for you.
Sure. I'm glad you asked. So Think, Create, and Connect actually comes from a thought process of not letting your ideas die, and that connection is very personal to me, because I grew up in a neighborhood where a lot of the times we didn't know much about creative life. It was more about labor life. When you grow up, you want to be like your dad or an uncle, somebody that you look up to at a young age. And in the community and the area where I grew up, a lot of that was labor work. So I've always had the creativity in my mind. I've always felt like I wanted to do more. But growing up, I just didn't know what that was. So going back to the name, Think, Create, and Connect, it's almost like about the process of letting your idea actually come out, letting it come out of your brain, out of your mind, into something. You're creating something to connect with something else, which is kind of like the way my life pattern was, that in order for me to break the cycle of becoming a labor worker, because that's where my family was that was the cycle that my family was in. I emotionally and mentally felt that I needed to do more, and like I said, I didn't know much about what I wanted to do. I just knew that I had so many ideas in my mind. But one time I was watching that movie, What Women Want with Mel Gibson. Yeah. So I was watching that movie, and in that movie, he works for an advertising agency. And, at the time when I was watching that, I think I was maybe 23 or 24 years old. And I was frustrated at work. I was working in a freezer, driving a forklift, and I was frustrated at work. And this movie comes on, and Lupita and I are watching it. And keep in mind, I already had my 3 sons at that time, and I see Mel Gibson, and he's presenting ideas to Nike, and he's presenting ideas on the art board and everything, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, but that's what I want to do. I want to create ideas for businesses and for companies. So then I started doing my research, and it landed me into like graphic arts school. And then from there, it went into like a marketing, and it kind of all just blended together. Mm-hmm. And I was like when I went back to school, I was like the A+ student, because I was just having so much fun. I was just enjoying the thinking, the creating, and the connecting. And so when we went into business, I kind of just, I felt that in my heart, and I was like, okay, I want people to know that their ideas can come to life. Just like your podcast was an idea, and you guys put it into motion, and now you created it, and now you're connecting with different people. So it's kind of like a process that everybody goes through.
That was an awesome answer. I love that. So working with your wife, mm-hmm. I think that always is something that, for me, I know we've been married almost 35 years, and there's been times where I've asked her, hey, maybe someday we could, do something together. And it's always like, probably not. So I'm just curious, what is the biggest challenge, or are there any challenges for you in working with your wife, who's the other half of this business, right? She's doing the things that you don't necessarily want to do or can do, right? We find the strength in others that can do those things that we maybe touch, but we don't bring them to fruition because that's not our expertise. I'm just curious, because I know Sed's got some more questions. What is that? How does that challenge you in your business and your relationship to have your amazing wife, Lupita, be a part of your dream and your business?
It's rewarding, just because we grew up together. I mean, we were literally high school sweethearts. So we went from high school from high school kids to where we're at now. We're both, I just hit 40. Don't tell anybody, but she's about to hit 40 next year. Although she wouldn't want me to share that, but
that's right.
But so we've gone through so many changes and obstacles throughout life, and a lot of the stuff that we have overcome has actually been together. I mean, I would say it all has been together. Even back to the story I was saying earlier of leaving my warehouse job to pursue a career in creative arts. She was the main one that was right there with me and said, you've never steered us wrong. So if you decide to do this, then I'll be there with you no matter what, even if we have to eat hot dogs and spaghetti for a couple of years, whatever we have to do, basically. So I just been blessed. I've been blessed, that I found my soulmate, and we have three beautiful children, and working together and having our household together. I'm not going to say that it's perfect all the time, because as humans it's always a wave, but for the majority of the time we're just enjoying all our blessings, and I think that keeps us together in a way, because we've already been in the lower part of our lives, and now that we're starting to climb back up and enjoying the fruit that we planted, I think it's both of us are seeing like, hey, we're together, we're very powerful.
Yes, you are. Sed, what you got? You got something burning inside?
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Cedric.
All right, cool. Because I apologize for y'all listening. I'm having some audio issues on the other side, so I'm trying to do some juggling here. So Dennis, I want to ask you this, man. So COVID is causing a lot of people to have to pivot right now,
mm-hmm.
and when we're in this virtual place, the imposter syndrome can kick in, where we're looking at everybody else. Oh my God, they have the ring light. My lighting's bad. And even, looking at the middle part, the create part, what would you have to say to that person that's like, yo, I'm just not creative, man. How am I going to be able to come up with content consistently?
So that's actually where we step in. So when we create the content for people. We can either film it, edit, record it ourselves, or I have people send me footage. So I have people that are out of state, and I'll tell them, okay, I'll give them little tips and tricks on how to film something, and then they'll send it over to me, and then we'll chop it up and put it nicely uh, in a nice video presentation. So we kind of guide people along the lines of like, okay, well, it's not the work that we do. We don't just post and say, all right, hey, happy Thanksgiving. Like, there's always a strategy behind it, and that strategy comes from communication. So that's kind of like the support that we offer as our company of Think, Create, and Connect. Is we like to be considered your marketing department, because there's so many things that involve creativity, and one of them is the perspective that somebody like us brings, which is outside of the box. For example, like a company that does trucking or rentals or whatever, they already have their lingo. They already know what people come to them for. So they're gonna probably, if we tell them, hey, create a post for yourself, they're probably gonna create it in their language and something that is more towards not the average person to understand. So we come with the outside perspective and we say, okay, well, keeping in mind these short attention spans, and keeping in mind that a lot of the times people are not going to search for your kind of business. What is the foundation of your business, and what stands out of your business? That's the core. That's what we want to pull out and let people experience and hear about it. So we've literally done that when we've worked with businesses, and we start sharing stories about the owner, because that's what people relate to. That's what people care about. One of the examples that I always like to share with people is, the CEO of T-Mobile. I think last year or the year before, he released a cookbook, and it was tied into a YouTube channel that he was doing a cooking show. So everything's branded T-Mobile. You see the magenta and everything, and in all the cooking stuff that he was doing. But you're not even thinking about the phone, but subconsciously you are, because you're watching this guy that's a CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, create these recipes. And at the end of the day, you leave thinking about T-Mobile, and you know what? That guy is just like me. So that what he was doing is he was building that trust in the background, but presenting it to you in a way that you were entertained.
Love that. So Dennis, I think
He gonna have T-Mobile on the airplanes, T-Mobile food.
Exactly. It's all it's all that subconscious stuff that we're fed this all the time, and our minds are always sponges, so we're absorbing all this brand and everything all the time, and these companies are clever because it works.
So Dennis, as coaches, we oftentimes we want to change the world, right? We have this vision of how we can bring out the best in people and allow them to experience that at the highest level. But we also know that we can't help everyone. We oftentimes refer to this idea that we can only help those that swim towards us, right? We can't help those that are swimming away from us. We can only help those that want or need or really are ready for that change that they're looking for. So I'm curious for you, who are those companies out there, businesses that would benefit the most from your services, those that you feel like you would provide the most value to? Because there's probably businesses out there that it wouldn't be a good fit for you to even reach out to them. So I'm just curious, for those that may be listening, what are those businesses that would be the best people to put in contact with you, so you can have a conversation with them and see what's possible for them?
I would say I personally like to work with small businesses just because of everything that we offer. A lot of the times when you think of a marketing firm, you think of thousands, and we keep it in the hundreds for that reason. Is because it's just the two of us. It's just my wife and I, and then
Right.
our son's gonna be on board soon too. But why not give a small business or a startup company or somebody who just has an idea of wanting to do something online or whatever it may be, of giving them that ability to look good doing it?
Yeah.
You know, that's the power of branding, is that, you know, kind of like that fake it till you make it type of thing. People are drawn to good quality. So if they see your business out, you know, from the launch pad take off, and you look like you're top level, I mean, you're gonna attract top level people right off the bat. So yeah, so I would say like small businesses, entrepreneurs, startup companies, those people who are driven and they have so many ideas in place and they just don't know which direction to head when it comes to marketing and creativity. Those are the kind of people that we really like to help.
Yeah, and I think you even mentioned a while back about mom and pop restaurants. You know, ones that maybe have one or two restaurants type thing, because you know those are the ones that we're losing, right? Those are the ones that aren't necessarily, may not have the monies to spend on a large marketing campaign to let their customers know what they're doing, you know, in amongst COVID. So I love that work around, you know, those areas where, you know, those family-run businesses that you can create that connection with, that really shows the value that you are able to provide people, knowing that, you know, they know you, they can call you, they'll learn about your family. I mean, that's the intimate, you know, intimate part of your business, Dennis, and what I've seen is just that deeper connection with those that you're, it's not like you're, you know, it's all about the money and what I'm earning and making as a result of me giving you a service. It's more about just the connections that you're building with these people that are long lasting.
Definitely. That's one of the things that we pride ourselves in is, you know, we want to like consume your business as far as like what your mindset is on it, because everybody has a way that they see their business and their goals and the things that they want to do in the future. So us, you know, being the people who are creating your content and delivering your messaging, is very important for us to understand your goals and the type of people that you want to reach, the type of messaging that you want to deliver. Otherwise, you know, we're just kind of shooting in the dark, and we won't be able to really hit the people that you want. So that's why I think the reach for small businesses is very important, because that all started, you know, going back to the create and connect process, is that all started with an idea, and then somebody, you know, they put some money together and they created something, and now they're looking to connect with people. So so I have a passion for that. When I see somebody that comes up, hey, I'm starting this, hey, I want to do that, hey, I have a great idea. I mean, it's like, hey, why not try it out? I mean, with everything going on this year, I mean, this has literally showed us that like you have to pivot, you have to adapt, you have to take a chance, because you just don't know what's going to happen next year or the following year. So why not just enjoy the moment and go for it? Let your idea come to life.
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard for us, right, to give that to others because we don't want to think that we don't know what's best for our customers. But I think when we let go of that and we realize from a third perspective, somebody can give us an insight on part of this that we're missing out on because we're assuming that we know exactly what needs to be done. And there's an important part of that. But when we can let go and invite others in to share their own thoughts and ideas and creativeness, you know, that's when we all grow.
Exactly.
Seth, can you hear us? You're awfully quiet tonight. Oh, I don't hear you. I think you're on mute. Can you hear him, Dennis?
I can't hear him. No.
Uh,
Oh, there you go. There you go.
okay. So I messed up on one. See, I'm trying to juggle, trying to turn
You
the
must have been
sound on
syncing,
one.
creating, and connecting right there.
Exactly, man. Um, so Dennis, I'll ask you this kind of off question.
Sure.
Um, what question have you not been asked that you wish was asked?
For like as far as for business or personal or
Business.
business wise. Let me see. What question? That's a tough question. That's really tough to answer. I think I've been asked a lot of stuff lately. Well, recently too. I think I guess the one question that um, I would want somebody to ask me is somebody who was in is like what I was about a year ago. Is I was just an entrepreneur. So somebody that if an entrepreneur would ask me, hey, what are the possibilities of going into business 100% on your own, and what does that feel like to become your own boss on something that was just an idea about 4 or 5 years ago? And the reason why I say that is because that's where I feel I was at. So like if it was me 5 years ago seeing myself now, I think that the 5 years ago Dennis would be like, how did you do what you're doing? Like, how did you get there? Because it just kind of seemed like it was never gonna happen. So I think that would be my question, is like from an entrepreneur to a professional, to be like, what made you think that this was impossible at one point?
Great question. I know Cedric's got his last question, but I'm going to ask my last question. It's kind of similar to Cedric.
So what does it feel like?
What does it feel?
Cedric, I'm gonna ask my last question, and you can ask your last famous question. Dennis, similar to that, was there a question that you were hoping we wouldn't ask you?
No, I mean, I'm an open book, so I'm not.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm not really.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, that was the answer I was expecting.
Thank you.
Well, man, I'm not gonna lie. This has been a real pleasure for me. Getting to experience you, Ron, getting to experience you every week as usual, and just having you in the man cave. I want to put up your information if anybody would like to get in touch. Y'all can see it there down in the bottom left. Man, Dennis, golly, man, such a pleasure. And I would just love to be able to spend more time with you just to hear that extended version of the story and how you took, up level to where you are now. That's pretty badass in my eyes. I love it. I love it.
Thank
I love
you.
it.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
So, Ced, you have your famous question to ask that we asked all of our guests that you like to put people on the hot seat for? Can you hear me, Ced?
Okay, there you go. 2020. Hey, but we adapt and overcome.
That's right.
Through all the echoes in one ear and
Sid, do you want me to ask the question for you? Yes. Okay. All right, Dennis. So one of the questions that we'd love to ask individuals at the end of our interviews is, given or imagine an open forum where space was not limited, what would be written on your gravestone, or what would be something people would remember you by?
Let's see.
Or what would you like to be remembered by? I guess that's another way of looking at it.
I think I'm gonna have to take a page from old Frank Sinatra, and just say that he did it his way.
I love that, Dennis. I've known you for a short period of time, and I think we've had some great interactions, just great conversations. I'm just feeling very honored to have you here in the Man Cave. We'd love to have you come back and share more about just your journey around your business and just around your life. I love the connection that that I've experienced with you and Lupita when I've been in the presence of the two of you. So that's just a beautiful thing to experience, and just your willingness just to say yes to yourself. I think that's something that we all need to pay attention to. We can easily stay stuck in our life and not think or have our thoughts rule our life. Or we can create but never take actions, right? We have this creative process that we can move through and never take those actions because we don't give ourselves permission, or we don't think we're good enough, or all these limiting beliefs that we may have. And then just connection. I mean, how important is that in this day and age with what we're going on, with what's going on in the world? How can we build those deeper connections with ourselves, knowing that that's where it starts? And I think that you so exemplify that in how you express yourself, connecting to others in the business world, and just I love the story of how you connect to your friends, just inspiring them to step forward, by example, not just by telling them what to do, but just showing them the way, and just being that being of light that people can really gravitate to. So I truly appreciate having you here and just being a part of this. And you, the listener that may be listening in, I mean, there may be a tidbit of something you can take from this conversation that you can, understand of what's possible for you, how you can create, how you can think, how you can really navigate your life in a different way that really moves you forward. And reach out to Dennis. You may have a young business that you don't know how to grow. You don't know what that next step might be. Dennis is available for a conversation that might give you exactly what you need in just that conversation itself. So just being open to that, I think that's where our growth is. So appreciate each and every one of you that listens in and follows us. Share this with somebody you think that may benefit. This topic may not resonate with you, but others in your life it may resonate with. So just be willing to share that with others that might learn and grow from allowing themselves to experience what we're talking about here. So Cedric, what's going on over there?
Hey, we got audio, Houston. Wow, man. For you guys out there, this has been a blessing for me. Hope it has been a blessing for you guys. And I know it's a lot of y'all that really tune in on my pages and stuff, and tune in to the Man Cave that's just starting up. And sometimes you're banging your head against the wall because you don't necessarily have the funds to get to that next level. This is why I love the space that Dennis is in. We've brought you somebody there. You heard it's not from me. You heard it from Dennis's mouth. They are here to help the small people, especially now in the time of COVID, where we have to invest in our virtual real estate, our online presence, and we may not be making as much as we might need to make in the moment. But go ahead and reach out to Dennis. You can see his information scrolling at the bottom. Y'all can see he's just a cool cat willing to help. He's been there, done that. Probably got the T-shirt and the scars, and now he's doing one of my favorite mottos. He has learned, and now he is serving. And so we hope by us having him, so helping him serve and bring his message to the world, we hope somebody has gotten something from it. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Ron. Appreciate y'all.
Dennis, so
Yeah.
you can close out just whatever you'd like to share. Just let us
Sure.
know.
Yeah, again, thank you, Ron and Cedric, for having me on your platform. This is incredible. It just the invitation alone was something that I felt like, oh wow, this is great, because I had never been on a podcast. I mean, I've been on Zoom calls, obviously, but not a podcast. So, but just the thrill of like, all right, let's just see what this is. Let's just do it and see what happens. I mean, that little action, could lead to something else. But even if it doesn't, it's just this time that we spend together. I feel like it's valuable, because there's one person out there that might be hearing this and saying, you know what, I'm gonna try to do this now, or you know what, like, this guy, he doesn't look like he's been in some kind of 10 years college degree thing program or whatever. He just looks like a regular dude, and he's over here talking about helping people and everything. So, and yeah, it's this truth. I mean, you just never know what'll happen if you don't do it. So thank you guys so much for listening to me, and Ron, thank you for reaching out. Cedric, thank you so much. I mean, you guys are doing great, and I just can't wait to see how this develops in the future.
Nice. All right, y'all. Till next time.